Today is a very bad day. Very bad day, folks. My wife and son are still in Ohio. I was going to go to the Chat Sports studio downtown and make a really great video for you with all the graphics you expect and everything, but I'm just sitting here in my kitchen talking to you face to face after, frankly, one of the most embarrassing and shocking losses of my Michigan football fanhood, career, anything you want to call it, I can never remember. I don't know, in a lot of ways this is as bad as Appalachian State. This is as bad as Toledo in 2008. This is as bad as anything Brady Hoke is because of expectations. Michigan was going to win this game by 60. You guys said it. I predicted 55-10 yesterday. I just am apoplectic, as Joel Klatt would have said on the broadcast, and I'm going to jump into a few things. I'm just going raw and unedited here. I haven't even put together anything. I got a couple notes here, but this is absolutely absurd. And my first point here is it time for Jim Harbaugh to go? He's got 1 year on his contract. I like to refer to this one. He's the only coach in college football with 2 years or left of their contract. And you just lost to a Michigan State team that lost to Rutgers last week. Mel Tucker's second game as a head coach. He came in late in mid-February after Mark Antonio stepped down. He had no recruiting class. He had no spring game. This is year six. Year six! And you lose to Michigan State that most people called the worst team in the Big Ten just 6 days ago. This was a flat-out disaster. Let's jump into what made it such a disaster. Well, let's just start on the defense, okay? I have a couple notes on the defense, and that's all I'm going to say about them. They were burned all day in the passing game. There was absolutely no adjustments by Don Brown. Someone has to be fired for this game. I'm sorry. If it's Don Brown, if it's Jim Harbaugh, if it's Josh Gattis, fire the friggin' recruiting coordinator, whatever his name is, I'm missing at this point, for not having good cornerbacks back there. But the cornerbacks, Vincent Gray, G-Mon Green, Jalen Perry, who they brought in, were absolutely unqualified to be back there against any Big Ten team. And Don Brown, being as stubborn as he always is, refused to make any changes on defense. It was happening all the way down to the last plays of the game. And when Michigan defense had the opportunity to maybe do something to save the game, I want to talk about these last two drives because they were unbelievable. Michigan State on their last two drives, not counting the very last one where they just tried to run the clock out, 2-yard line they started at. They marched 75 yards, missed a field goal, took up 3 minutes and 54 seconds of the clock. It's actually not that bad, all things considered, but Michigan had them starting at the 2-yard line after a magical punt. Guy caught it over his shoulder, tossed it back. 2-yard line, they went 75 yards, missed a field goal. Then the next drive, they start on the 8-yard line, and they go 92 yards or something like that for a touchdown. 4:37 on the clock. And then what's Michigan's offense doing? There was no urgency. They were just dinking and dunking and dinking and ducking. 5 yards, 8 yards, run. 5 yards, 8 yards, 10 yards, run. It was unbelievable. I don't even know how much time Michigan took up on that last scoring drive. I'm going to look here in just a moment. I'll look right now as I'm talking about it. Michigan's scoring drive, the very last one of the game, they took, I guess it doesn't say here, but I'll look at it later. It was so much time, though. It was an unbelievable amount of time, and Michigan had no sense of urgency on that last drive at all. I was just mind blown. I couldn't understand what was going on. Either go up and spike the ball, or run something faster, or don't get stuffed at the goal line, right, when the game is on the line. So there was so many things that went wrong with Michigan's last drive, Michigan's last two defensive drives. Frankly, with just everything that went on throughout the course of this game. And this is, frankly, in my opinion, the worst loss I can imagine for Michigan football. Year 6, game 2 for Jim Harbaugh, after one of the more exciting wins we've seen in a long time from this program. So I'll bring up this point. Where are the Shea Patterson haters now? Because Shea Patterson absolutely beat Michigan State's ass last year in Ann Arbor. 2 years ago, he went on the road and beat a ranked Michigan State. Joe Milton, the hype train lasted one game. I bought into it. You bought into it. It is over. Until he wins another big game and we all jump back onto it. That's how it goes. But the coaching was actually unbelievably absurd. Don Brown, again, has proven he is not qualified to be the Michigan defensive coordinator. He can't make adjustments. I want to talk about a few stats for Michigan State here, if you'll indulge me. Rocky Lombardi, 17 of 32. There was a time where he was like 11 of 27, etc. 53% completion for 323 yards. 17 completions, 323 yards. I'm not a math magician. I don't even have it in front of me. That's like 19 yards. I think exactly 19 yards per catch. 19 yards per catch. 3 touchdowns for him. How about the wide receivers for the Spartans? These are unbelievable stats. So just this one, I guess. Okay, are you ready for it? Ricky White, 3-star freshman wide receiver out of Georgia that no SEC school wanted. 8 catches, 196 yards, 1 touchdown, 24.5-yard average on 8 catches. Naylor, 2 catches, 68 yards. Reed, 1 catch, 18. I mean, it went down the line. A bunch of guys. Every catch was for 15, 18, 20 yards. The rushing game, they didn't gash Michigan, but Jordan Simmons had 14 carries for 59 yards. I want to go over to the Michigan side, though. The Michigan running game doesn't exist anymore. The leading rusher on the day, both in yards and in attempts, Joe Milton, 12 carries, 59 yards. Hassan Haskins only had 8 carries for Hassan Haskins? That's your leading running back? 8 carries? I don't understand what we're doing here, Josh Gattis. And then Blake Corum, 5 carries for 15 yards. He looked electric when he had the ball. 2 touchdowns for him. One was that really nice first one. Another one just kind of at the 1-yard line after a Ronnie Bell catch. Chris Evans, 3 for 16. A.J. Henning, 1 for 9, backfield thing. But where is Zach Charbonnet? He had a 70-yard touchdown run on his first run of the year against Minnesota. Since then, he has had 8 carries, 2 today, 3 more in the game there today, 5 today, 5 for 8 today. So he has 8 carries for 8 yards since that 70-yard carry. I think we can call Zach Charbonnet's career as a starting Michigan running back kind of a disaster at this point because he is the 4th running back at best. I don't know what to say about him anymore. Corum is certainly getting a hell of a lot more snaps. Haskins getting more snaps and looks a hell of a lot better than he is. But the Michigan offensive philosophy in general was a disaster. Rodney Bell dropped balls today. Eric All, what are you doing, Eric All? You're dropping everything these days. They had nothing going on offense. The offensive line was just not there. And as far as dominating, as far as opening up holes, it was such a different game than the Minnesota game. We saw what happened in Minnesota yesterday. Maybe we all bought into the blue Kool-Aid. I might be worse. I might have led you astray, and I apologize for that. But I am sick to my stomach. Comment below in this game. Just give me your one-word reaction. Go blow up my comment section because I am just out of my mind at this point. This team was lifeless. The running backs, frankly, are kind of brutal. We thought we had 4 running backs deep. They didn't go anywhere. But the story of this game over and over, and I'll kind of end it with this, and I'm just ranting and raving at this point, was Vincent Gray, G-Mon Green. It was either they were getting burned for 30 yards, 40 yards, 50 yards, or they were getting pass interference. Burned, pass interference. Burned, pass interference. And they brought Jalen Perry in. More of the same. No one looked back for the ball. No one made a play in the ball. No one changed anything. They were always holding the guy's arms, etc. They got called for him. Don Brown, I don't know what you're doing, man. You just gave up 323 yards passing to Rocky Lombardi. I'm coming close. Rocky Lombardi. Rocky Lombardi. Someone needs to get fired for this game. Is Jim Harbaugh on the hot seat? You guys tell me below because I have had it up to here. Up to here with Jim Harbaugh. Up to here. It's unbelievable. This is year 6. Year 6. I'm sipping my beer. So, subscribe to the channel. This is going to be quite the week for Michigan football. Be quite the week for me. I'm looking at my shirt here. You disgust me, you. It's been a really bad day. This game went terrible. It felt weird the entire day. And I just want to go pour a beer all over my head and fall asleep. Go Blue.